All right, folks, and just like that, it's time to do the first oil change. I've got about 610 miles on my 2025 Honda CBR 1000RR-R Fireblade SP. So you got to remove the lower fairing, the belly pan. I've got another video that shows how that's done. It's a pretty straightforward job. And once you've got the lower fairing off, you want to go ahead and open the oil fill cap so that the pressure is equalized and the oil flows out of the drain bolt down here. And that's going to require a 12 millimeter socket. And I've just ridden the bike, so the engine is already warmed up, which means that the oil should flow right out. All right, so we've got the oil flowing out. Honestly, the oil is super clean. Just amazing how clean this engine runs. And I do have the bike on the rear stand, so that means it's tilting down towards the front a little bit. And that's probably a good thing because all that oil is coming down here and flowing out. So I'm just gonna let it drip for a while, and then we'll go about removing the oil filter. All right, I've got the headers covered a little bit with aluminum foil so that when I open the oil filter and the oil spills out, it doesn't mess up the headers. I've got a little kind of hole over here so that it comes out from the bottom. I've got this oil filter wrench. I had a Kawasaki at some point, and this thing seems to fit the Honda filter extremely well. So I'm just going to use this to loosen up the oil filter and then use my hands to untwist it, and that will take care of the oil filter. All right, so I just loosened it and allowed the oil to begin to drip out. That way it doesn't come out in a gush. And now that that has happened, I can go ahead and allow the rest of it to come out. So this is the drain bolt, and you can see there's almost no metal shaving. So this is about as clean as I've ever seen in an initial first oil change. Pretty amazing. Okay, so we got 4 containers of 10W30 full synthetic oil. You got an oil filter for $21.95, and I got a washer for $195. So the total comes to $105.76. Not too bad. All right, so this is what I'm using for torque values. So it's got the engine oil drain bolt and the oil filter cartridge. So you might want to verify. I cannot guarantee or confirm that these are the correct torque specs, but this is what I plan to use. All right, so the oil filter has been screwed back in. You want to hand tighten it so that you don't cross thread. And then once it's kind of snug, I came back in with a torque wrench and torqued it down appropriately according to that table. Next step is to go ahead and get a fresh crush washer and screw in the bolt. Okay, so we're ready to fill oil, and you want to use this dipstick to check. Now, when you check the level, you want it to be unscrewed. You don't screw it in, and then you pull it out, and right now it should be empty, which is showing no oil. And like I said, after you fill in the oil, you just push it in, and then you take it out. You don't screw it in. So it has to be between those 2 wedges. So let's get started. I've got the Honda 10W30 HP 4S full synthetic. The manual recommends semi-synthetic or full synthetic. I went ahead and bought full synthetic. I've got 4 quarts. I think it's going to take 3 plus something. But as soon as we do 3, we're going to start checking the dipstick and make sure that we don't overfill, because that could be a problem. All right, I've got 3 full quarts in there, so I'm going to remove. And I don't know if you can make out, but there is, let's see. Yeah, there's quite a bit of oil in there. And so the next step is to start the engine, let the oil all kind of settle down, and then take the measurement again. So I'm going to go ahead and screw this in. And then we're going to go ahead and cover the oil filler. I'm going to take off the bike from the side stand, let it be flat. I'm going to start the engine, let it run for about a minute or 2. And then we shut off the engine, let it sit for a few minutes, and then we'll come back and check the dipstick again. All right, so the engine has been restarted and it's been sitting now quietly for a few minutes, so it's time to check the oil again. I've already unscrewed this, so it's just sitting there. I just need to pull it out. And I don't know if you can see this, but it's just above the minimum mark. Yeah, you probably can't see it, but it's just above the minimum mark. So I'm gonna go ahead and add, I don't know, about 8 ounces. And we'll check this again. All right, let's see how we're doing. So I added about 8 ounces, and I want to say we are good. I know you can't see it, but I can from outside the camera. It looks like it's between the 2 wedges over there. So we're gonna call it good and wrap everything up. So that's pretty much it. All right, so we've wrapped everything up except for reattaching the belly pan. I'm gonna hold off on that because I need to go ahead and clean the chain and check the tension. But the oil filter change and the oil change has been completed. I gotta tell you, this was one of the easiest oil changes I've ever done, from removing the belly pan to the drain bolt to the oil filter to the oil filler. That's just amazingly simple. The only thing I wish Honda had done was to have put a sight glass on this right-hand side instead of the dipstick, but that's a small price, I think, to pay for the convenience and the well-thought-out engineering here. So I cannot compliment Honda enough. I've worked on a bunch of bikes, and again, this is easily one of the easiest oil changes I've ever done.